The Battle of Waterloo was fought on Sunday, June 18, 1815, near Waterloo in Belgium, part of the United Kingdom of the Netherlands at the time. A French army under the command of Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated by two of the armies of the Seventh Coalition, a British-led coalition consisting of units from the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Hanover, Brunswick, and Nassau, under the command of the Duke of Wellington, referred to by many authors as the Anglo-Allied Army or Wellington's Army, and a Prussian army under the command of Field Marshal von Blücher, referred to also as Blücher's Army. The battle marked the end of the Napoleonic Wars. The Waterloo position was a strong one. It consisted of a long ridge running east, west, perpendicular to, and bisected by, the main road to Brussels. Wellington's forces' positioning presented a formidable challenge to any attacking force. Any attempt to turn Wellington's right would entail taking the entrenched Hougoumont position. Wellington rose at around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock on June 18, and wrote letters until dawn. He had earlier written to Blücher confirming that he would give battle at Mont Saint-Jean if Blücher. From 6 o'clock Wellington was in the field supervising the deployment of his forces. At Wavre, the Prussian Four Corps under Bülow was designated to lead the march to Waterloo as it was in the best shape, not having been involved in the Battle of Ligny. The roads were in poor condition after the night's heavy rain. Napoleon breakfasted off silver plate at Le Caillou, the house where he had spent the night. At 11 o'clock, Napoleon drafted his general order. Riel's corps on the left and d'Erlin's corps to the right were to attack the village of Mont Saint-Jean and keep abreast of one another. Wellington recorded in his dispatches that at about 10 o'clock Napoleon commenced a furious attack upon our post at Hougoumont. Napoleon and Wellington thought that holding Hougoumont was key to winning the battle. Hougoumont was a part of the battlefield that Napoleon could see clearly, and he continued to direct resources towards it and its surroundings all afternoon, 33 battalions in all, 14,000 troops. Similarly, though the house never contained a large number of troops, Wellington devoted 21 battalions, 12,000 troops, over the course of the afternoon in keeping the hollow way open to allow fresh troops and ammunition to reach the buildings. A little after 1300 hours, I Corps' attack began in large columns. The divisions were to advance in echelon from the left at a distance of 400 paces apart. The 2nd Division, Donzelot's, on the right of Bourgeois Brigade, the 3rd Division, Marcognitz, next, and the 4th Division, Durat's, on the right. The French in the road but faltered and began to fire on the French instead of charging. The 42nd Black Watch halted at the hedge and the resulting firefight drove back the British 92nd Foot while the leading French 4-5e Ligny burst through the hedge cheering. Along the sunken road, the French were forcing the Anglo-Allies back, the British line was dispersing, and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Napoleon was winning the Battle of Waterloo. After 3 o'clock the Duke's situation became critical, unless the succour of the Prussian army arrived soon. A little before 1600 hours, Ney noted an apparent exodus from Wellington's center. He mistook the movement of casualties to the rear for the beginnings of a retreat, and sought to exploit it. Eventually it became obvious, even to Ney, that cavalry alone were achieving little. Belatedly, he organized a combined arms attack. Using Bachelot's division and Tizot's regiment of Foy's division. The French cavalry attacks were repeatedly repelled by the steadfast infantry squares, the harrying fire of British artillery as the French cavalry recoiled down the slopes to regroup, and the decisive countercharges of Wellington's light cavalry regiments. The French right, left, and center had all now failed. Napoleon's losses were 24,000 to 26,000 killed or wounded and included 6,000 to 7,000 captured with an additional 15,000. Wellington sent his official dispatch describing the battle to England on June 19, 1815. It arrived in London on June 21, 1815 and was published as a London Gazette Extraordinary on 22 June. Napoleon announced his second abdication on June 24, 1815. Louis XVIII was restored to the throne of France and Napoleon was exiled to Saint Helena, where he died in 1821. The importance of the battle left an effect on the